So welcome everybody to day 3 of the virtual roundtable. Today is Saturday, the 30th of April, 2022. And we're looking forward to Helena Galani taking us into OpenSim, how to move on in OpenSim actually. So she'll be basing her talk on some of the previous workshops on how to get started in OpenSim. And if you're interested, there's also a video course on that, on EdTech tools. And today she's going to move on in OpenSim. Helena Galani is an accredited TESOL and EAP educator. She holds a diploma in RSA and master's in ELT. She blends and flips her classes in immersive virtual worlds. She designs blended asynchronous and online courses for her learners. She owns ELT Treasure Island on Kitely and taught and trained EFL teachers for INDIRE, EdMondo. And as a EVO moderator, Helena trains language teachers to use virtual worlds with transmedia storytelling, games, and interactive scenarios. As EduNation resident, CAMELOT Award winner and presenter, she supports the value of virtual worlds and machinima for language acquisition. Without further ado, over to you, Helena.
Thank you for the introductions again, Heike. It's a great pleasure to be here. And today I'm going to present a few more details. I'm going to reveal a few more tricks about how you can use Open Simulator and Kitely in particular, which is one of the many grids on Open Simulator. So as Heike has just said, to put it in a nutshell, I'm intrigued by virtual worlds and especially Kitely, which we ranked as #1 in one of the researches we carried out a couple of years ago for V languages. The more I dig into this kind of world, teaching in virtual worlds, the more I like it. And I'm going to tell you a few more tricks about how you can master the art of immersion. In the first part on how to get started in OpenSim, I only presented the basics about how you can create a virtual world for language classes. This was the content of how to get started in OpenSim, which will soon be available on edtechtools.com for you to embark on. So we looked at how you can change the environment settings and I'm sorry, change the page. How you can adjust maturity ratings for your youngest students to log in safely without being threatened or feeling insecure, how to teleport and use camera controls, how to find friends and edit your avatars, how to find free material in world, how to customize your avatar, and moving preferences you can set. So that was the basic. And today I'm going to show you why advanced features of Open Simulator are useful for language classes, what multiple affordances can be used and what can be achieved in class, how you can leverage more advanced affordances to create meaningful, effective lessons in Kitely by creating, importing material, adding interactivity, and managing resources. So I've divided this presentation into 3 parts. First of all, we're going to look at building, shaping, and resizing. I'm going to log in and let me see. Someone's microphone is activated, which is a bit deafening.
Vinay's accidentally, I've muted him, and for some reason.
I think it's Ahmed.
No, Vinay.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's Ahmed now.
It's Ahmed, yeah. Okay, that's nice. It's all right, it happens. So we're going to log in. I'm going to show you ELT Treasure Island. It's nice to be an island owner, by the way. And it's very cheap if you decide to to buy the basic plan. I'll show you how you can upload images and how you can texture them, how you can upload and add audio on prims, how you can import 3D objects from special sites online. I'm going to show you how you can add media on a prim. That's what MOAB stands for. How you can add script, animations, how you can make a slide viewer and a teleporter. Why is it useful? Because it's a miracle. I mean, every young person deal with technology in their everyday lives as a kind of self-expression. So work in virtual worlds encourages participation, learning through innovative creativity, and self-motivation through easy access for language acquisition. It satisfies the younger generation and their technological habits. It's meaningful. It's a cross between real and unreal situations. There are a lot of opportunities for teacher networking on Open Simulator and for community support, where you can find educators and exchange ideas with. You can find free material. You can hypergrid, which means you can hop from one grid to another, and find ready-made material to widen up your classes. You can own or you can share your land with other people. Well, the Generation Z habitats teach us that the majority of younger people already use virtual worlds in their daily expression. Perhaps the older generation does so a little bit less, but still the percentage is quite high. Have younger people ever done any of the following? Look, 57% have created an avatar, at least an avatar. They hang out with friends virtually. They create an avatar on social media. So we, as teachers, we need to keep up with this pace. It's a fact. This is reality nowadays. There are new habitats for 21st century habits. This is the basic reason. And Ken Robinson, Professor Ken Robinson had said, if we're looking for new pedagogical practices, we have to have facilities that will enable those to happen. And trust me, it is not difficult to download Open Simulator and use it in class, face-to-face, whichever method you choose. I'll show you about that in a few minutes. So what can you do? As we will see later on, we will build and shape prims. Prims is a short form for the word primitives. It's the basic form of an object in virtual worlds. We can upload files, audio, image. We can import 3D mesh, as we said earlier. We can upload and add media on a prim, which means sound, basically. We can add animations, pose balls, and get our avatar or objects to move and to interact with us. We can add script and animate mesh prims, teleporters, slideshows, and these are some examples of what we've created with my students in Open Simulator Kitely. They can carry out role plays, immersive scenarios, and they have even created scenes like at Santa's, and they have written up dialogues, or they have carried out impromptu conversation based on a particular topic every time. I mean, we've filmed machinima or dinosaurs, for example, and how imaginative students can be is incredible. They can even reenact a historical scene from their CLIL lessons. Oh, here are some more pictures of Inworld learner galleries, which you're going to see on ELT Treasure Island. They can create, they can build, or they can give you instructions how to build escape rooms, mazes, treasure hunts, scavenger hunts. There are a lot of affordances you can use, and games for whatever learning purpose. Learner-generated content. It can be board games. I'm going to show you how we can make one using simple texture, and more interactive, more immersive games like trivia, or like the one at the bottom right, where you can click and you get words in order to produce a sentence or to initiate conversation. So what do you actually teach in Inworld, in OpenSim? You get to think out of the box completely, both the teacher and the student themselves. You can have flipped lessons, you can have blended, synchronous, asynchronous, face-to-face, hybrid, for all age groups and all learning purposes, for exam-orientated classes. You can have ubiquitous homeschooling on an island, on a virtual island. And this is what you can carry out. As we said earlier, you can own or share land. It's game-based. You can get your students to create their machinima logs, everyday videos about their avatars' lives. It's a very good medium for transmediality, storytelling, fan fiction, restoring, whichever perspective you want to look at it. And you provide your learners opportunities for differentiated learning, experiential learning, and situated learning. Here's another image of what you can do on a virtual island. This is just a view of what the village, the Happy Prince, used to live in Oscar Wilde's short story, The Happy Prince. You probably know the story. And so we've placed the statue in a central location where students go and have their lessons. And this is based on photographs local students took in Thermopylae, you may have heard. And so we recreated this location, historic location. Well, let's actually go for it. I'm going to share my screen. Actually, I'm also going to share my sound. Let's see what it sounds like for you. And here you can see the entrance, the landing point on ELT Treasure Island. We're going to just have an overview. We also did so yesterday briefly. And this is ELT Treasure Island, where students come either for live classes or asynchronous learning, or just for fun in their free time. They get inspired, as we said earlier, to build, to own their own buildings, to suggest what their ideal building looks like. This building is owned by a teenage student, and he has decided that his preferences are mainly around ecology. So he's got a nice roof garden, and he knows quite a lot about animal life and plants. And also he says that his second preference, interest in life is art. So he paints and he uploads images, and just by clicking at the image, you can get information about what he has actually painted. I'll actually show you how you can do this. It's very easy. Okay. This is just one aspect, really. You can come to the sandbox and build, which is a safer spot, making sure you don't delete anything. Okay, this round greenish object is called a teleporter. Just by clicking at it, Oh, my avatar, Heike. Well, today she's dressed as Autumn. There she is. And she's a bit shy. Okay, if I click on this object, the
And can I
teleporter.
also just mention that she can actually talk?
Yes.
As in, you know, there's voice over IP and there's lip movements when
That's right.
speaking.
Yeah. Here you can see she's moving her lips. So I just wonder if I should keep my microphone on in Kitely, but I don't think it really matters. Okay, so I've clicked the teleporter and you can see the destinations. I'm going to take you up to the sky where I have created a box that I call Skywalk. And here we are, she has arrived. Here we're going to see step by step how you can build. And what I'm planning to do first is building, shaping, and then texturing. Excuse me, can I close this window here? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, on this platform, it's quite high. Don't know if you feel sick over here, but you're safe. You never get killed, you never get injured in worlds like this. You live forever. No accidents happen. Oh, her dress, Heike. It's actually autumn leaves. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my mouse is a bit tricky today. There it is. Well, all around these boards, you can see the steps of simply building and shaping and texturing and naming your object. Take, for example, this board game on the floor. This is just made by actually through a box that I stretch. How this can be done simply, let me start showing you. I will go to build on the top of the Firestorm interface, select build. I will choose a cube and I will drop it on the ground down here. So this is the basic prim you can get as in Second Life, which is a rather advanced virtual world. So then I just drag and drop the object from the cubes on the sides of the box, what used to be a box, and I can make it taller or thinner just by dragging, left clicking and dragging the object. Now this looks like a wooden square still, and you can give it any size you want. This is one way of sizing it, resizing it. The other way is by going to the card that has popped up, which you can see here on the left, and by selecting moving up or moving down to resize the object. Okay, if I just make it 6 by 6, this is not a 0. Okay, then this should be fine. The next thing to do is to change the texture because I want it to look like the one on the back, like the board game, Beware of the Dragon. So I can click texture, choose to blanket, and then I'm going to find the texture I'm interested in my inventory. I've called it Beware the Dragon, and I will just click on it. Here you can see the identical board game, but it's a little bit the other way around. So I'm going to rotate it by pulling with my mouse and turning it around. And this is it, basically. That's a very easy approach to making a board game. And similarly, you can make your games pieces out of different shapes. You can imagine what shapes these are made of. Well, it's not difficult to guess. There's a cylinder and a hemisphere, a semi-hemisphere, actually. You can see. Okay, so you just go to build, select build, choose a cylinder and drop it by clicking on the ground. Go under texture, select the box texture, make it blank, and just give it any texture you want. I've got different ones in the library. These are available in the OpenSim library on Kitely for free. They go with the account that you create. Anything, just select whichever feature, whichever texture you like. Okay, I'll make it look like steel. And then for the top, I'm going to choose a hemisphere, as we said. Click it and drop it just above the cylinder. You can move it to the left, to the right. You can just by selecting the arrows, left, right, up and down. And then you want to change the size of this little cup. Let's try making it 1.5. Oh, that's quite big, by 1.5. So better stretch it in from the sides. And well, I don't know if I can achieve the ideal look for it. Oh, it's a bit higher than the cylinder. Okay, if I move it down now, oh, not in the right place yet. Well, it's a bit of a concentration game. It's good for your concentration span also, you know. Okay, we seem to have something more appropriate if this is the way you want your game piece to look like. Again, I'll go under texture and I would blank it. And this time I'm going to give the top a different color. So as you've seen, I click the frame color and I will choose a kind of pink. I will OK it and make it full bright. Now, I would like to link the cup with the cylinder. So what I do is choose the cylinder, the hemisphere, click Shift, and at the same time, click the cylinder below and choose Link from the tab. And you've got a whole linked object. Give it a name. We always give our objects a name. Game piece is the name I will give it. And you can right click and take a copy of it, which will appear in the inventory, in the recent items under objects. It's the game piece. If you want to take another game piece out, if you have more students than one, then you simply drag and drop it onto the floor. And here it is. The next step I would like to focus on is how you can upload and add audio on prims. Well, let's see. First of all, let's make sure that my sound is on. So I'm going to the top right hand where you can see this little speaker. Can you see it? There are some buttons here. You can put the sounds up, well, my voice should be activated. It's quite loud already. And make sure your master sound is high. If I click on these objects, there are different functions happening. If you want to have your students practice anything before they write an essay, for example, the purpose of this game or board, clever board, it was how to write an essay expressing your opinion on the use of virtual worlds in education. Here is the statement: using virtual worlds promotes learner development. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? How I created the board game I got from my file. Yasmin? The board game on the floor?
Yes.
How I created it? You mean where I found the texture? Oh, you can make it on PowerPoint.
Oh, okay.
Save
Okay.
it. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that. And thanks for pointing it out. Yes, that's important. I should say that actually. Yeah, I created it on PowerPoint. I saved it as an image. And I uploaded. I'll tell you how we upload images. Yes, thanks a lot.
Okay.
That's important detail you need to know. On OpenSim Kitely, first of all, very good news for teachers is that you can upload assets free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. You can upload textures, as we said, audio, or 3D objects. In OpenSim, you can upload JPG and PNG image files up to 1048 by 1048 pixels. To do so, go on your Firestorm viewer and choose build, upload. If you want to upload a single image, you choose image. Otherwise, bulk is ideal. I will choose image and I'll go to, okay, here to my downloads, for example, and select the image I want to upload. Okay, this is the one I'm choosing. I will choose upload for 0 Kitely coins, nothing. And here's the texture I've uploaded. My presentation cover. Okay, so if I want to insert it on a prim, you know how we do it. We go to build, select build, choose the cube, and drop it on the ground. Stretch it or resize it, whichever method you want. Okay, this is easier. I always find it easier. Make it as big as you want. And let's move it up. And now we're going to texture it. Select texture and then texture. Make it blank first. Okay, here you can see it more clearly. Oh, that makes me feel sick sometimes. And find the texture you've just uploaded. I think, what was it called? Helena OpenSim. Here it is.
Game piece? No?
Pardon?
You saved an object for a game piece as well.
I'm not sure. Got your point. Heike, could you repeat?
Oh, I got it wrong, sorry.
Okay, so here we've got the board for the presentation, which I name, and I can either right click and take and keep it in my inventory, or I can take a copy of it or delete it. I don't want to delete it. I'll simply take a copy of it. Oh, there we are. Okay. Thanks, Yasmin. Now I'm ready to go on to the next part, which is uploading and adding audio. And here on this board, you can see I've included an image. if you select the face, actually, yes, if you select the face and go on the texture, you can see what image I uploaded after creating it on PowerPoint. By clicking at those red, pink, green, blue, whatever shapes, sound is produced. Ideally.
It raises learner awareness of their own educational needs.
And these are some points that the students can use to brainstorm and to expand.
It provides a purpose for learning.
Okay, the green cylinder, actually pyramid, whatever it is.
It encourages participation and creativity.
Okay, so every single object contains, let's right click and see what it contains. If you go to the content, there are two files. It says VR6, which is the actual sound I have recorded on Audacity. I use Audacity myself.
It provides a purpose for learning.
And a script, a simple script that is free, available online or on different malls, in Kitely or OpenSim. So let's say, for example, you want to make a shape. I will choose build and build again. And this time, I think I'll go for a sphere. I'll click it on the ground, make it a little bigger so that it's visible and people don't get confused. Here it is. Okay, so here's our object. If you go to the content, you will see it's empty at the moment. But in the inventory, I can find the sound. Let's say this is the sound I want the sphere to have. I simply drag and drop it from the inventory into the content tab of the object. And the next thing to find and drop in there is the, what did we call it? Remember? Touch sound on and off. Okay. On and off. Let's use this touch sound on and off. I left click it and drag and drop it in the content of the sphere. Every shape around this board contains the script and audio, an audio file. But how do you upload audio files from your computer? And how big should they be? Kitely can upload up to 60 seconds a minute sound files, an MP3, MP4, M4A, Windows Media, WMA. And this is how we do it. Again, go to build, upload, and select sound. For free, you can choose, okay, I've got this waterfall and birds sound. Oh, I see. It is not supported. I don't seem to have any sounds available at the moment. This is a file that's not supported. It's probably bigger. It is a WAV file, actually, WAV. So I should have an MP3 file, which is up to 1 minute long. But you get the idea of how we do it and how we find it in our inventory. In the next part, I'd like to tell you how we can upload files from different sources online. And for this reason, I'm going to move to the third platform on the Skybox. Oh, sorry, let me go back. These are some sources where you can find free material. There is also paid material that they charge, but there's a lot of free stuff also. I tend to use TurboSquid a lot, and Free3D and CG Trader. Okay, let's see how we do this. And let me show you some examples. What is a 3D object? Take, for example, this flower pot. You can see what it looks like on the site on Free3D. And I actually have resized it and changed the color of the pot and the plant. Another object from turbosquid.com is this castle. It doesn't exactly look like the one in the picture, which is online, but I have textured it. So I use different colors and different material. Here you can see the steps. The first thing we want to do, first of all, is go to the site online for free 3D models. The file you can upload is called a DAE file, and it's a Collada file that is supported. So you select build, upload, and mesh model. What mesh models do I have on my desktop at the moment? Interesting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I haven't, I've lost my files at the moment, but let me show you where you can find free material. Here's a flower pot that I've already imported. Let's try it again. So here's the pot, and you get the option to download for free. This is the file. You save it in the downloads folder. And in the downloads folder, you can see the zip file. You can open it, you can unzip it first. Here we are. Right click and get into it and find the DAE, here we are, planned file. I suppose I have to decompress it again. Okay. And I will go back. Let's go back to my platform where I'm going to upload it. So build, upload, mesh model. Here it is, indoor pot plant. I've got it. I open all these files and select the DAE file. And this is what pops up. The safest way of uploading it first of all, is under the level of detail to select the source. And this is where it is located on my hard disk at the moment. Then choose the physics. Usually medium or low physics are supported. If you select high physics, high detail, the object is too dense to upload and it will be impossible to do so. So go for medium physics and then choose calculate weights and fee. Wait a little bit until the upload button is activated. Choose upload. And here is the object. You can find it in the inventory under objects or in the recent items. Here's the indoor plant. Okay, time to take it out of the inventory. Let me find some clean space where I'm going to drop it. From the inventory, just left click and by pressing, drag and drop it on the ground. That's quite big, as you can see. And I don't think plants look like that. There's also a funny shape next to it. So I will right click, choose edit, edit linked, and I'm going to unlink this object on the left. I don't think it's useful. I'll right click it, select more and delete it. And then I'm going to texture the plant, the indoor plant, by right clicking, choosing edit, and I will change the shape of it and the size. And you probably remember now how we can change the texture too. Give it any size you want. And after that, the rest of the procedure is as we said earlier. Go under the texture tab. You can make it blank. You can find the right texture. But look, these leaves are strange. They're not very realistic. So I would go for edit linked, select on the leaves only, select face so that only the leaves are modified, and then go under texture, make it blank, and find anything that is appropriate for the surface of a plant. Any texture. Maybe this is good. Mesh plant texture. Well, this is more or less like it. Over to the next part.
I wish I could texture my plants at home.
Yes, they do need some refurbishing sometimes. Yes, this one is very peculiar for a plant, but anything happens. Okay, something easy to show you right now is how you can add media on a prim, which we call MOAP. Mesh. Okay. Mesh is a technique that is produced on Blender, if I'm not wrong, and it contains detail, a lot of detail. It gives the object a realistic look, and a mesh object is created on a particular program. Special programs are available for that. This is for more advanced creators, builders. Okay, so here media on a prim, what do I actually mean by media? This is a board that contains a video from YouTube. Just by clicking on the board, you focus on it and you can watch videos from a playlist or anything that you have uploaded on your YouTube account. It's easy to make a board like this, to connect with an external link from the internet. You simply right-click, choose Edit, select Face, select the face where you want to show the video, and in the drop-down menu, choose Media. Go to the Choose tab and insert the link you would like to add. Okay, I've made a change here where you show the video and in the drop-down menu, media. I'm sorry, let me switch off the sound at the moment. Select auto zoom so that every time you click on the board, the screen focuses on it, and auto scale media. For security reasons, you can choose, for the younger learners especially, only to allow access to the specific URL patterns. I don't usually change anything else. At the end, remember to apply the settings and OK it. And this is it. Oh, have I not done something properly? Select face and go under Media, Align. It should appear. Let's reset it. Yes, now it has been reset. Okay, so remember to reset then. And this is where you can see the live stream of this presentation on YouTube. Over to the next task. How do we add script and animations? You can see this, I'm sorry, sometimes you have to do tricks, to play tricks with your fingers. You can see this couple sitting at the bench, and I have set them to move like this. Look at them. You can get your students to create stories about them. Let them guess what they're talking about, what their mood is, what their relationship is, how they are feeling. And this is also a nice little creature that I have chosen to move in this particular way. This can be achieved by inserting scripts to mesh objects. So not all objects can animate. And this dress here is mesh, the particular technique we said earlier. And you can realize this by right-clicking and choosing the Features tab. It should mention animated mesh, and it should be activated. Okay, what do these characters contain? In the Edit Content tab, you can see that I have inserted certain animations, AO, like a male, 3, 4, 5, how many are they? 4 male animations with a specific script, which gives the order for the animations to play in a circle. This particular script is appropriate for a lot of animations to play one after the other. And again, in the Features tab, you see the animated mesh box is activated. And let's look at this little man. What animations does he contain in the contents? There's a new script again with the particular orders for it to move. You can imagine how we do this. Well, if I want to animate the dress, it's funny to have an animated dress, I know. Thanks, Heike. Yes, please, do give me some time. Okay, I'll find some animations here. Let's say I would like this dress to move, to dance, and to maybe jump. So, okay, twist that backside dance is one animation I'm going to drop in the contents of the dress. This is funny, what you can do with a dress these days. And maybe I can give it a jump flip female animation and a pre-jump animation. You can drop in there as many animations as you want. Also, we said that the objects contain a script, so I must not forget to insert the animate script. That exists, that can be found in my inventory, and I simply drag and drop it in the contents tab of the dress. Then I make sure the animated mesh box is ticked. I call it a dancing dress. I give it a name, or moving dress, whatever you want to call it. And you see how easy it is. The dress moves up and down just like that, like magic.
And I just wonder what it looks like when you put it on. What it does to you.
I wonder if I should try it. I don't dare try it. Here you can see some other scripts that I have put in the boxes, like fire script. It's so easy to make fire in this world. Just select your shape, the basics again, drop it on the ground, and in the contents, find the fire script from the inventory. Here, fire script, drag and drop it in the contents page, and you have a burning box. If you don't want the box to be visible, and if you just want it to be more realistic, in the textures tab, give it some transparency so that it disappears completely. Name it fire box, for example, and magic. You can also make water, and you can make a board that rotates like this one in the same manner by inserting the right script. You see, you can do magic in this world. The next useful script that you can use.
I'm afraid I have to slowly.
Can I have 3 minutes, please? Just 3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. This is quite useful because you can create this kind of magic boards for your students to motivate them to speak or to do some revision around topics that you teach them in class. In this case here, we wanted to brainstorm and do some recycling on social issues. Like crime and violence. So again, this board contains different parts. On the back, you can see some ideas that I created on a PowerPoint to stimulate discussion on social issues facing humanity. And apart from the textures that I uploaded, if you click Edit Linked and select the lower left part of this board, in the contents, you can see I have inserted some images, which is the actual images that we need to stimulate, to brainstorm, to create discussion. And there's also, you can insert as many images, textures as you wish, but don't forget to insert the slideshow script, which again can be found for free in the mall. or on the marketplace, the Kitely marketplace. Again, you go to build, choose build, and stretch your object. Give it the size you want and the shape. Better make something square. Go to texture, make it blank. And in the contents page, you can drop all the images that you would like to use in order to stimulate discussion or to get your students to brainstorm. There's a lot of textures you can use from. Let's just choose some random ones. Building, mesh plant, how to move on, different kinds of textures. And remember, we said that we need to include the script in order for the textures to move, as in a slideshow. Slide share script. Slide share. What was the name of the script again? I'm sorry. Slideshow. Sorry. Okay, here it is. Slideshow script. There are different slideshow scripts, but this particular one helps you show your slides in a sequence. Okay. This is what I've managed to put in here. Well, I was meaning to show you one more thing, which is how to make a teleporter, but this is done in a similar way. You can always come to the skybox and practice building. The destination on the teleporter is number 20, Skywalk. Don't forget. In order to come here to ELT Treasure Island, you just need to make friends with Helena Galani, and I will add you to our group ELT Learner Factor. Would you like to ask any questions? Would you like my help with anything else? It's exciting what you can do in Kitely. Here you can find some more ideas. And I would like to thank you for attending this presentation. And feel free to get in touch if you need any help, any clarifications. Yes, you can get plenty of these scripts for free. You can upload your own material. And trust me, it doesn't take so much time. Once you get familiar with the environment, which doesn't take long because it's very pleasant, it's easy to get creating things.
Yeah, and really, whilst it looks a little bit involved, technically speaking, but in January, February this year, Helena, myself, and another team of 8 people being moderators, we did a 5-week Evo session on how to build in virtual worlds and virtual reality. And we looked at one of the virtual worlds, which was OpenSim, is what Helena just showed, but we also looked at how to build in VR worlds such as Frame VR and Mozilla Hubs and Allspace VR, Engage, and importing mesh objects, namely 3D objects, into a virtual world these days is relatively easy, and we did that in a session. So it's over a period of 5 weeks that we are, with 150 educators that we had the Evo session, we built in all of these different areas, and we helped others to raise prims, to manipulate the object, to add script to it, to add text to it. It's not really rocket science. Yeah,
no, not at all.
Absolutely not. And Helena has published a beautiful video course on EdTech tools called How to Get Started in OpenSim. And within a matter of 1 hour, you can learn how to get the basics done. And this is the second hour of learning here in this that we wanted to record for the purpose of creating another video course on the second version of OpenSim. And it's beautiful. It really is not that difficult. And Yasmin asked, is there any difference in terms of using PC or Mac? Do you want to answer that, Helena?
I basically use PC myself, but yes, there are some differences and there's a lot of information available. Let me.
Well, actually,
I'm just wondering if one is easier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the software that you need to use in order to be able to do all of this manipulation there in OpenSim is called Firestorm Viewer.
Mhm.
And the Firestorm Viewer itself is not different from Mac to PC. Slightly. I mean, like minimal. Yeah. Yes, there are two versions that you can install logically, but they don't look different. And the functionality within the software is not different. And interestingly, the menu items, also the way of going about with the objects, properties, etc., is identical to Second Life because it's the same software.
Yasmin, if you have a Mac, this is where you can find the viewer for the Mac, the latest Mac version. Okay, on Firestorm.
Scripting
Thank
is
you.
the same, texturing
You're
is
welcome.
the same, so the manipulating of the objects is the same.
Everything else is the same, yes, no change.
Thank you ever so much, Helena.
You're most
Absolutely
welcome.
Impressive, your in-depth knowledge of how to build, how to texture, how to script, how to set your dress on fire.
That's right.
Think of the Hunger Games, yeah, and she flies with this moving dress all over the place, you know.
You feel like a little god, creating water, creating fire, creating anything.
Thank you ever so much.
Thanks a lot. Great pleasure to be with you and show you these things.